Hi everybody, welcome to the content of object-oriented programming with Java. So let me quickly revise the what happened in yesterday's session and what we're going to learn for today's session. So in yesterday's session, I'll just quickly revise what we have done in the last session. So first thing is in yesterday's session we have seen the first program of Java, and followed by we have seen what kind of editors has been used to write the Java programs, and in which how to write a program, and the next thing is how to compile the Java program and then how to execute the Java program. Yes. So now let me quickly go through for today's session with the basics programming with Java, and that is what the first level to start with the programming of Java also. So now first thing is let me quickly go through once the previous session extended version, and let me first complete what we are going to cover today now. Then after that we will set the few programs today and we will try to complete it. Hope you guys already installed Java on your local machine, right, if I am not wrong, right. So as I told you also yesterday how to download and how to execute Java program, or I mean to say how to install the Java applications in your local machine. So yesterday I was given you one URL, so please go through that URL, download the particular version of the operating system which it supports, and then install it. It's pretty simple installation. You have to just go through with a few next options on your wizard, then it will get installed in a local machine. Yep. So now let me go to the today's session. So how does the Java program get compiled in your local machine, and then once it is get compiled, what it get generated, and today we gonna learn about the most important factors is what does it platform, what is the platform dependent, and what is it platform independent, and also we will learn about how to write the variables and what is the different set things can be used in the programming of Java now. Okay, now let me quickly go through this. First part what we are going to learn right now is the execution process of Java program and identifying the important modules in that. So what is that first thing? Yeah, first thing is you can just see that if your source code of Java, right, as I have written the source code in Java in the last day, so that will be your source code part. Okay, source code in the sense the code which you have writing in Java. So as soon as when you write the code in Java, there is a term which we have discussed yesterday, that is something called it as compilation. So what is this compilation do? The compilation is a term, or compilation is a process to compile your source code, and if it is have errors, again revert back to a source code. If does not have an error, it get generated some kind of byte code here. So this is, please to remember a new important term as you have not seen in C language. So what happened in C languages, as soon as the source code get compiled by the specific compiler of C, it directly generates the object code. That was the history on the programming of Java. Now, C. Now, what is the base concept in Java is, as soon as the source code is got compiled by the compilers, then it got generated with some kind of byte code. This byte code is called it as intermediate code, right. This intermediate code get under the process of JVM. As I told you yesterday, JVM is a term you have to remember, right. So JVM is a term, we call it as Java virtual machine, means what, your byte code get dumps into the JVM. As soon as it got dumped, as yesterday we have seen an output on the screen, right. Same way you can able to see the output here also. Yeah, so now let me summarize this one in very simple terms. So that first you have a source code get compiled with the help of your Java compiler. That is what we usually call it as Java-C. Whenever you try to compile any Java program, you will use Java-C followed by the file name .java. Okay, and that got compiled by the compiler. As soon as it got compiled by your compiler, it just generate you the intermediate code here. The intermediate code I can call it as a byte code here. What is this bytecode? It's a simple as that. It is an intermediate code where no one can understand this. Okay, so this will be get directly jumps into. I mean, we just need to put this into a JVM. So nothing but execution process here. This JVM is a process, or is a what I can call it as simple as that. It's a responsible person where it can convert your bytes code into the output format. Okay, so what are the things we need to remember in this is, first thing is how to get compiled with your Java program now. Okay, so your Java program get compiled. Your Java program has to be get compiled. First thing is Java-C, right? Java-C is a word where you need to use for this, followed by the file name of Java. File extension of the file is always .java. Yes. So as soon as if you type this command on your command screen, it just show you if you have errors, it will show you there are a number of errors here. If not, the program get, as soon as it get compiled, right, so it get generated one more file, call it as .class file in the same location. Wherever your .java file is presented, along with that there is one more file is got generated. This file I can call it as here bytecode, which I have discussed in a previous slide. Now this will be, now this is for compilation, right? Yeah, this get compiled here. As soon as it get compiled, right, we need to execute this particular code. How to execute this particular code is, yes, the code get be executed with Java followed by the file name is, okay, right. So automatically your program is get executed. Now let me go to a command prompt, which we have already written a program yesterday, right? Now let me execute this particular program now. Okay, so in this first thing is I just need to, right now your location is, where is that location now? Is it in C drive, user folder followed by Windows folder? So now I just want to get back in the sense you need to use cd dot dot, nothing but the control moves to one folder back and again one more folder. So that right now where is your cursor now? Your cursor is in C drive now. Yes. Now actually where is my folder? My folder is in D drive. How to move to the D drive? Drive name colon, which makes you the control to move into drive. Where is your control right now? Your control is in D drive now. Let's check it out. Right now it is in D drive. So now let me move to the folder name. What is that folder name is? The folder name is Java programming. In this folder name, in this folder I have a set of files is presented here. So first file, what is the file name you want to see? The file name I want to execute is Java-C followed by example.java. It is a file name where I want to get compiled. Let me get compiled here. So now as soon as you can get compiled this program, you can just go to the drive. You can able to see the two files over there. See that there are two files is visible there. One is a .class file and one is a Java file. Byte class means what is a simple thing you need to understand here is, if the location is got with a .class file, is something which your program is got successfully get compiled. Nothing but there is no errors in your program right now. Am I very clear, guys? Yeah. So now let me go to compile this program. As compile this program is done, now I want to execute this. What is the execution process? Just followed by, you can say that. So what is the message? You can see that welcome to all. This is a program what we have written yesterday, right? Welcome to Java. So this is a program we have written yesterday. Now let me check this file. I just want to edit this particular file now. Let me edit with this. Yes, when you want to edit this particular file, you can have this particular thing here. See that system.out.println, and then you can have welcome to Java. Yes, is it clear, guys? Now there is an important term you have to remember here. Okay, so the important term is about platforms dependent and independent. Very, very important factor. Every interview you can go, you have this question for sure. As soon as when they ask you how to compile and execute your Java program, then immediate next question they will ask you, what does it mean by platform? What does it mean by a platform dependent? What does it mean by platform independent? Whether Java is platform dependent or independent. These are the questions which we have. right. So, I mean in interviews also they will ask you this kind of questions. Now, let me first clear about what is it platform means. What is a computer platform means? A platform nothing but a platform which means to say that the architecture of your operating system means what, whether it may be a Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 or else Windows 10 or Linux. This is what we can call it as architecture of your operating system, and followed by the processor architecture. Processor architecture in the sense whether you may use the processor of i3 or Pentium or i5 or i7, the architecture, combination architecture of your operating system as well as the combination architecture of your processor, which mean to say that it is a platform. It just need to say that it's a platform. It's everything is clear. What does it mean by platform dependent is? Yep. So, now let me clear this idea very frequently, with a simple example. Now, let me show you with a simple example how to show this one is platform dependent or independent. Okay. So, as I have a program or I have a one platform here, please listen carefully guys, what is I am going to talk about right now. So, what is that platform does contains, right? Platform does contain the architecture of your processor and it contains the operating system architecture. So, your operating system may be Windows 7, your operating system may be Windows 10 or your operating system may be Windows XP or whatever it is, okay, or Linux or something. Processor is something which i3 or i5 or i7. So, combination of these two, if I imagine these two, it becomes a one computer platform for the programming language. So, on a one platform, on the one particular platform, I am going to write the Java program here, nothing but let us say X platform, right, some X platform. I will choose in this X, I will have a operating system, I will have a B processor here. Yes. Now, what is this will do is, this in this particular platform, I am going to write one program here. What is that program is? Example.java program. Yes. Now, what I will do is, once I will get compiled with this program, I will also get one .class file also, right? Yes or no? I will get one .class file also. Now, what is this .class file do is? Okay. Now, as soon as I will compile this program, it got generated my intermediate code here. Yes, that is something called .class file. I will put this .class file under JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which makes me to generate the respective output as executable prod. Yes, now is it very clear? Now, what I want to do is, whatever the byte which is generated here .class file, I want to run it on another platform. This is up to this is one platform, right? Now, let me take one more platform here. Now, let me take one more platform here. Let me have this is one more platform which have the platform is something say Y platform. Yes. So, operating system of A will be Windows 10. The processor is i5. The white platform does contains the meaning of Windows, not I will take directly Linux here, right, Linux operating system, and followed by is using some i3 processor over there. Yeah. Now, what is mean to say this? If this class, if I am able to run on this particular platform, if I am able to run this particular .class file in this platform perfectly without having any hardware dependency or software dependency, then I can call it as the programming what I am going to write here, that is something call it as platform independent, which is running without having any platform support here. As this intermediate code is not running on the other machine which have a few dependency about your platforms, I mean to say hardware support as well as platform software support is not having properly, then I could say this one as the platform dependent is, right. Now, let me explain you the same thing again, very important thing you need to remember here. So, the first one is I'm going to write one program. I'm going to write one program in some X platform. The platform can be anything here. Right now, I'm taking some platform as A operating system, which is our B processor. Mean A processor in the sense something, say take it as Windows 10 and here processor take it as i5. Yes. Now, in this particular computer or in this particular platform, I am going to write one particular program called example.java now. So, now as I will compile this program, I will execute this, I will have the particular output. This is what the basic scenario what I have just now explained, how to execute the process of your application. Now, what will happen is the intermediate code which is generated here, that is your dot class file, right. This dot class file, I just want to put it on another platform where that platform is totally different. Means what? Here I am using Windows 10, here I am using a Linux, here I am using Windows i5, here I am using i3 processor, totally different. So, now what could I do, what could I suppose to say at end of this one is, if this intermediate able to write it on the other platform which have a software support, then it is able to generate the output as it is expected. So, what is the first one is expected, same way I want to expect the output from here also. If I am able to expect the output from this both it in the same way, then I can call it as this one is platform independent. I can call it as platform independent. If it is have any problem with this particular software or it having any error with the dependency, then I can call it as platform dependent. So, in which the programming of C is platform dependent. Yes. So, which we have already learned in our earlier stages of development. Now, second one is your Java is platform independent. This is the one of the major reason your Java having here. So, it is platform independent. This platform independent nothing but if you develop any application in any platform, yes or no. So, I am going to develop an application in one particular platform which is in my development environment, where a user can use this in some other environment, does not matter here, does not matter. Only matters here the application is also run it on the second machine. The application which the development has been done with Java, that can also execute on another machine which is not having a same software, which is not having a same platform. Still you can able to run this particular platform. This is the main reason why Java becomes more popular than the C. Yes, have you understood? Yes. Now, let me quickly go to the next one. So, what actually we going to see? Okay. Now, let me go to the next one, what we are the session is. Okay. So, this thing is platform. Platform is the combination architecture of operating system as well as the processor. The platform independent. The platform independent means the execution of the program is not restricted the type of environment which is provided. So, thereby it is makeable to process the program to write it on any environment which is available. But dependent is not that it will be strict to only one particular platform. Guys, recommended you to write these few sentences. Please try to write these few sentences in your notes when I am discussing here, because these are the important things which we basically covers in terms of your development. Yes, please note it down. Platform, platform dependent and platform independent. Platform in the sense architecture of operating system as well as processor, and platform independent in the sense it does not have any restriction here. See that the program does not have any restriction to be a type of environment which is provided, but whereas come to dependent, the execution of the program is restricted to the type of environment which is provided. Please write it fast. Yeah. So, last 20 seconds to left to write it. Yeah. Yeah, hope you guys finished on this, right? So, now let me go to the next one, what we are going to discuss right now. All right. Yeah, what is the magic of Java is here? The magic of Java is purely it is platform independent language. That is the main reason it got popular, right? Java is platform independent language because the bytecode is the magic of Java. Please remember the term. Remember the term bytecode, because is it we also call it as sometime intermediate code, right? Please remember this term, very important term, very important term in interviews also, right? What does it mean by bytecode? Bytecode is something which generated by the compiler of Java once it is get compiled by any Java program. Very important thing is, okay. So see that whereas your programming of C and C++ are the compiled languages which makes the platform dependent, because it generates you an object file here. Remember this, right? The source code of written in the programming of C and C++ get transferred into an objective code here. Here this is the two things you need to remember here. One thing is what is the bytecode, what is the object code here, which machine and the operating system dependent. It can be dependent only on single platform. So that's the reason C and C++ languages terminated on the platform dependent. This is the reason most of the higher end applications like say web applications, mobile applications or else desktop application has been stopped using the programming of C. This is the main reason, because it got generated with object files. Okay. So now let me summarize what is the magic of this Java is. The magic of Java and magic of C++ and C. So this is always generates you object file, and this object file is stick to only one platform. Here the development environment which is using some X platform, it's supposed to be there on the client machine also. Means what? In this particular machine where this is your client, right? This is your server machine. So what will happen with this object file is, this object file is always expecting you to write a same configuration which is presented on server, same configuration should be there on your client machine also, yes or no? But what does Java do is, okay, so hope you understood this. Now what does Java do with this? Java will do, generates the intermediate as bytecode here, right? What is the terminology of bytecode is, this is your client machine or else this is your server machine and this is your client machine, where here what it's trying to tell you this, here doesn't matter what platform they have used for developing this application, doesn't matter, but the environment where the user is trying to use doesn't matter what platform is trying to have, right? Still this whatever the application which I have developed from C not able to run, but the application which is able to develop from Java is possible to run on your user machine without having any software as well as hardware dependency. That's the reason Java we usually call it as platform independent. Yes, guys, you guys are clear on this, right? Now let me go for the summarize on this particular process now. Okay, so what is the summarize I'm going to do right now is, so what is the importance of Java, what is the magic of Java, and followed by what is not there in this programming of C and C++. The magic of Java is it generates the intermediate code as bytecode, so that the bytecode is a process where you can run it on any machine, doesn't matter which platform it is, right? But still you are able to run that application. Whereas the C and both programming languages, which generates the code as a bytecode as it is get compiled, so that the object code is dependent to one particular platform, nothing but it is dependent to only one machine. So it is not possible to run that particular part in another machines. Yes, you guys are clear right now. So what does it means here? It mean to say that, the application of Java will be like this. Yes, please look at this picture very carefully, what is it actually means. Okay, the picture suggests you about what is the Java is platform independent. Okay, so the first one is the source code of your Java, right? So that will be get compiled with Java-C command, right. If that Java-C command compile this Java program successfully, it generates the intermediate language as the bytecode here. Yes, this is the one flow. And there is another flow also. If there are the few mistakes which has been returned by the programmer, if a programmer is returned with something mistakes in the source code, if it is get compiled, it generates you the list of errors here. So once it is generate a list of errors, there is one more thing is, so your source code is get compiled, generates the list of errors, and it again goes to the source code part where a user has to be rectify these errors. Right, as I told you the term yesterday, error is a term which we can call it as a developer's mistakes which can be shown by the programming language as the error here. So now list of errors which will be presented here, this list of errors need to be solved by any developer, the development what you are doing now. Once it is got developed, so now you need to solve that particular errors, again you need to compile this particular program. Now once it is successfully, imagine that there is no errors in your program, so that it will be generates the byte code as an intermediate code right now. Yes, once it is got generated by the byte code, you can put it on any machine here. The machine has to be have some Java virtual machine. It will be coming along with your operating system only mostly. If not, you need to install the Java machine, right. Put it on any device or any machine, doesn't matter about platform here. See that you can see the platforms what I'm showing here. One is a Windows platform, one is Unix platform, one is Mac platform, one is a mobile platform, right. Doesn't matter the which platform you're going to use here, but the application whatever you have developed here, I have developed some app here, mobile app. Imagine that I have developed one website. So this website will be runs on your Windows operating system. It also runs on your Linux operating system or else Unix operating system. It also runs on the Mac operating system. It also runs on the mobile operating system. Everywhere this will be get run. So this is what the reason why we usually call it as Java as platform independent. Hope you guys are clear on this particular picture. Now let me revise this once again. What is a platform do with a Java programming is? Okay, so what is we basically use here? First we have a source code of Java which will be get compiled by the compiler of Java with the command of Java-C. Once it is get compiled, it generates you bytecode. Put it this bytecode on any machine which doesn't restricted to one particular platform. Any operating system which uses any devices, doesn't matter here, you can stick to any place, so that you can see the same expected output what is you have seen on this particular platform. So that's the reason we usually call it as Java is platform independent application development platform is. Yes, is it clear guys? Yeah. So once it is got clear, now let me go to the next one. What actually do is, okay, so what actually we are going to do in this particular process is we are going to do the next. Once we have done with this, we have to start bit programming is. Yes, yes. Now let me start with let's get started with the Java programs now. Okay, so because of what I have shown you how to write the program of Java, I have shown you how to compile the program of Java, then I have shown you how to execute the program of Java, and then I have shown you just now whether Java is platform dependent or independent. If someone is asking you a question in interview whether Java is platform dependent or independent, a pretty simple thing you can say that it is a platform independent. Why? It just because of the magic of Java, it is a bytecode. So we can put this bytecode on any machine wherever the application want to run. Then automatically the expected output which is generated in an environment machine, development environment machine, same thing you can expect from the output machine also. Yes, once it is done, I am going to get started with the Java program which have a very simple program we are going to start here. So what the basic concept I am going to cover in this here? The basic concepts I am going to cover first of all the naming conventions, then followed by the variables in Java, how to define the Java variables, and then we are going to go for what is the keywords, what in the identifiers, and what are the data types and everything. Yeah. So now let me go to a simple example about naming convention, because as I am writing a program of Java, right. So whether I have to follow any names to this or else I can directly develop this. Okay. So now let me start with this particular part, naming conventions in Java. Yes. So what are the naming conventions we have for Java? Okay. Now in this current example we have to use classes, right, and this current example we are going to use variables. So for this two, how to write names for this, right, how to write the names for this. Okay. Now let me first explain you first what is the name to return for the class, and then we will see how to write for. Yes. So now let me first show you what is a class. Okay. So you can see that class name should starts with uppercase letter, and that would be a noun. Okay. Like string, a color, a button, a system, a thread, etc. See that on all these names, the first character always supposed to start with the uppercase character. Now let me follow the same rules in my development also. Okay. Now let me start with a simple program again. Say what is the first thing I need to import the package. What is the base package I want to import? Lang package dot star, which can get all the sub packages class to into it. Class is a keyword. Let me talk about what is keyword in the next few minutes time. The first thing is class name, a demo, right. Within this class I need to write the class name public static void main, which require the string arguments as an input. Let me talk about what is this string args also. Yes, open and close, and better practice you can have more with the programming. A few things you need to take care here. See that guys, as soon as if I am starting this class definition, I am closing here. Then I am just getting my cursor into this particular method or a class, then I am writing one more method. Okay. Now let me write a method. Your method started here, your method is end here. Within this I am going to put my control and I will write my particular code. So what is I want to do in this? I want to write some message. System is a class, out is the static member of system class. Let me talk about out in the next couple of days time, because we have a separate lesson for static members. Then I will write print, which will print you some message, say welcome to level 1 of Java programmers. Yes, once you can just have welcome to level 1 of Java programming. I am going to save this particular program on the same directory where I have stored the yesterday's example. What is the class name? Demo. What is an extension for this? .java. Now let me select all files here. I have already have two files. One is example.java file and the other one is example.class file. Now let me save this file in the same location. Yeah, once it is get stored, you need to open your command prompt first of all. Now let me clear the screen. CLS to clear the screen. Your control is in the same directory where you want to write now. So right now it is in the D drive, the programming Java programmers. Okay. Now let me check what is the files over there. I have a files which you can see the file name is example.java, example.class, and there is one more new file which is created recently with the time and all. You can see that file name is demo.java. First let me compile this particular program is Java-C, alright, followed by what is the file name? Demo.java. Just compile this program. Just see that there is no errors, because as it have an errors it will show you here. Okay. So I'll take it to that if you have an errors how it displays. Okay, I'll show you that also. I'll just do some mistake in my program, then I'll show you how to how this particular program gonna show you errors over there. Yeah. Now let me go to execute this program. Java followed by the class name is demo. Now let me execute this. What is it showing is welcome to programming of Java. As soon as it, here the control is moving to the next line. See that? You can see that the control is in the next line, because as I am writing here which method here? Print method of system class. But if I am writing for print ln method, so what did happen? Let me save this program again, go to this particular location, again compile the Java program. How to compile it? Java C followed by demo dot the file name is Java. Now let me compile this particular program again. Yeah, see that once it is get compiled, it will have any errors, it will gonna show you there. If not have errors, it will be get compiled. Now let me execute this program. Java followed by the class name is demo now. Okay, you can just see that Java followed by demo is a class name. Now let me execute this. Okay, so there is a output will be get differs from the previous output to this output now. See that in the previous output, as soon as the output is displayed, the cursor has been moved to the next one. Now here in this case, your program message has been displayed here. Once it is displayed, it is taking the next line cursor there. Means what? If you have any other message, the control will start printing from here, not from this particular place, right? A pretty simple thing, print as well as println differences. Yes. Now once it is done, the class naming conventions what I have to use. Okay, the first naming conventions I have to use in this is the class name. Class name always starts with what? Uppercase character. I have used the same thing here also. See that system is a class name always starting with uppercase, because even though it is predefined, I have to write my same thing in my user defined class also. See that both are in the same way. Yes or no? Alright. So now let me go to discuss a few things about two important factors of your programming is. That is something called it as keywords and identifiers. Very important terminology you have to remember, right? Please try to note down these two, because as I am using a next thing is with these two parts. One is keywords and identifiers. Okay, as every programming language, I am not talking about the language which right now what I have what I am trying to right now. So even if when you call it something is a programming language, when you call something as a programming language, there are the two things which need to involved in this. The first one is keyword. What is this keyword is? And then you need to know immediate next term is identifier. Alright. So for example, if I am call it as a keyword, if a word in programming, if I am supposed to call it as a keyword, what are the necessary features has to be there to it? The necessary features has to be there to that particular word, the meaning which has to already defined to particular compiler. Means what? I need to tell that word meaning already to my specific compiler. For example, if I am using Java, right? So nothing but I have to use a particular word, and the word meaning already I have to explain it to it. Yes or no? So that words we usually call it as a keywords. Okay, see that if the word meaning which is already defined it to a specific compilers. If it is Java, you have to tell it to Java compiler. If you are using C programming, you have to tell to the C compiler. If you are using C++, you have to tell to the C++ compiler. Those words are called it as the keywords here. And that's the reason these words always we usually call it as the reserved words, right? Please remember this. This is something called it as the reserved words. Okay, so that is first thing we need to remember. Nothing but I can call it as this words is call it as predefined words also. Yes or no? Mean to say that there are words in every compiler. Okay, you can just see that if I have a words in the programming language, there are the two kind of words which we have. One is predefined words, right, and followed by second one is user defined words. If something you can call it as a predefined, these words are call it as keywords, or also you can call it as reserved words. Yes. Now what about this one, right? What is the keywords examples? Your int is a keyword, your char is a keyword, your float is a keyword, yes, your class is a keyword. All this we have a keywords. Okay, Java supports almost 60 plus keywords. The current Java version which supports almost 60 plus different keywords over there. Yes. What is this user defined words? User defined words, simple you can say that identifiers. This is what a programmer has to define it. If I am a programmer, I have to use a few words. If I am using a few words in my program, those words comes under the category of user defined words. What is this user defined words? Generally in programming languages, we usually call it as identifiers. Okay. So identifiers, nothing but you can call it as a variable names is a identifier, because as we are writing variable name as a user defined name, right. So for example, variable name can be written like this. For example, if you just think for the few minutes, int is a keyword followed by you will write some x or you will write some y or all these things, right. So here this int suggests you for keyword, this x suggests you for identifiers, alright. Here all keywords will be in small case, all keywords can be in small case. Identifiers can be of mixed case, because it depends on the programmer what it gonna write. Yes, whatever the programmer gonna write, it depends on your programming or it depends on your programmers. Okay. So now these words can be a mixed words. You can write with uppercase, you can write with the lowercase, that just depends on you. Yes, alright. So those are keywords. Now while writing your identifier names, you have to remember the few important terminologies, two important rules, right. The first rule is the identifier name should not start with any special character. Special character in the sense, hash is a special character, dollar is a special character, explanatory is a special character, at the rate a special character, right. The identifier name supposed not to start like this, nothing but int $1, right, or else int $a. These are incorrect syntax of the Java, alright. So, but a special character, there is a except one special character you can use for this, except one special character is underscore sign. You have underscore, right. That underscore sign is possible to define your identifier names, nothing but I can write like this, int underscore followed by name, let us say a. This is valid syntax, right. This is the first rule. Yes. What is the second rule for this? It have a second rule also. The second rule is it will not start with any digits, digit format, nothing but 0 to 9 is not possible, nothing but you can just see this, int 0a or else int 1a, right. These two are incorrect syntax of Java. But what is the correct syntax of Java is int a0 is a correct syntax, or else int a1 is also correct syntax. In these two, these both are correct syntaxes, nothing but this is the second rule. What is the third rule for this? The third rule is you supposed to not to use the identifier name as any keyword, nothing but int followed by int. So if I imagine that this is a keyword, this is identifier name, this is 100% impossible, it is a wrong syntax. You want to write like this, say that integer, yes you can write it, because integer is not a keyword of Java, right, so that you can use this. Okay. So these are the three important rules you need to remember while you constructing a variable name. See that the identifier name has not to start with any special character except underscore sign, right. Second one is the identifier name has not to start with any digit, something 0 to 9. The identifier name should not be any keyword of Java, third rule. And what is the possible way to this? The possible way is the identifier name always has to be an alphabet, starts with an alphabet, or else it has to start with underscore sign. Please note it down, these 4 points, very important points in your interviews. What is the rules to constructing an identifiers, or else what is the rules to constructing a variable names? Pretty simple 4 rules. The first rule is You're supposed to not to start with any special character except underscore sign. Second one is it's supposed to not to start with any digit, that is something 0 to 9. And third one is it is supposed to not to have any keyword of Java. And the last possible way for this is it has to start with any alphabet or else underscore sign. Yeah, clear with this? With this particular examples of keywords and identifiers, I am going to show you with a simple example in Java application. Now let me go to the program whatever written in the previous thing. Yes, now let me go to this. I am going to write a variable, right? Now first thing is we need to understand what is a variable also, right? Now let me first give the brief introduction about the variable concept now. Yes, now what is this variable? Let me understand very carefully, right? Please quickly see this once. So we have a very much interesting point to learn on this. Yes, what does it mean variable means? Variable means, for example, imagine that this is the program of Java where I have written something variable name as int x, right? Nothing but integer variable, name of the variable is x. What will happen as soon as if you write this particular line in your memory location, it is a memory location. Imagine that this is your memory location. In this memory location, we do have some 2 bytes of memory or 3 bytes of memory, so that will be allocated here. For example, let us see, it would be some 2 bytes of memory. Imagine that integer takes 2 bytes, yeah, 4 bytes, depends on your compiler. Now let me take 4 bytes. Yes, now the memory location of this will be 1006, right? So as soon as what will happen is when you write this syntax, that particular syntax will come here, nothing but this will be defined as x here. Yes or no? So what will happen now? How do you define this variable is? Basically a variable can have a number of definitions, right? We have a number of definition to variable. The value which is not constant is a variable. The value which can hold a variable, it can store some value, all this comes under a variable name. The best way to define a variable, what I am going to define basically in my terminology, the name which we can give it to a memory location, that we can call it as a variable name. Very simple as well as very easy way to understanding what is a variable name is. Okay, simple as that. I am repeating the sentence again. It is a name which we can give it to any location or any memory location, that we can call it as a variable name. So what happened with a variable is, variable can hold a single value, that to any value, maybe integer, maybe character, maybe string, or maybe float, or maybe double, that depends on you. Okay, and the value which is not constant, there are a few constant variables, there are a few not constant variable. What will happen is the value which keep on changes during your execution of your program is. Okay, how does it can done? Let me understand it with a simple example. So once it is done, we will try to do it. Okay, integer I is what you can call it as integer. Int is a keyword, I is a variable name. This is what you can call it as declare a variable, right? So once it is declared the variable, you can assign some value to it, right? So these are the 3 processes you need to follow. This is initialization. Right, initialization variable, then you can print it, system dot out dot println. You can just define the variable value as I. You can directly, because it's object oriented programming, okay, so you can directly call I, because as in C programming we usually write %d to print the value of integer. Now as it is object oriented, you can call it as directly object itself. So I am writing here object name as I, you can directly print this particular object. Now let me save this program again, go to compile this program again. So Java C followed by demo.java, again execute this. What is the value you can able to see on the screen? The value which you can able to see as 100, nothing but these are the 3 factors. And what is the important factors you have to follow is, okay, first you have to declare the variable, then you need to initialize the value, then you can use it. Alright. So for example, if it is anything wrong, if I do it before this, 100% it is wrong, right? So nothing but before you initializing a variable, first it has to be declared. The declaration is finished, it will be assigned with a memory, right. Automatically once the memory is allocated for the specific variable, you can use it in any way. Here I am using for some way, here I am using for some other way, alright. So that will be depends on it. So that you have to follow the 3 rules here. First you have to declare the variable in your program. Once you declare them, you need to initialize some value to it, yes. Then after that you need to print this. I mean you can use it for any process, okay. These are the 3 things which has to be done, okay. So that's it for today's session, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. By the way, I'm Anil Kumar, okay. So what is the topics we have covered today? We have covered the topics of how to execute the Java program with how to get compiled, how to get execution happens, and we have discussed about what is platform dependent as well as platform independent, and we have discussed about keywords and identifiers, and then we have done with this, okay. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.